So hello everyone, welcome to StudyBUZZ. So today we are having another special guest, Akash Ghosal, who has scored 99.50 in XAT. XAT is primarily supposed to be the most difficult MBA entrance exam. Apart from that, he has also scored 248 marks in NMAT and 97 plus percentile in CAT as well. So first of all, congratulations Akash. मतलब
Thank
amazing
you
score
so
in all
much.
the three exams. एंड
Thank
टुडे
you.
आज हम लोग का ऑब्जेक्टिव यही है कि यार जो भी इनकी स्ट्रैटेजी रही है, ही इज अ वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, तो बहुत बार हमारे सामने ये डाउट आता है कि यार जॉब के साथ हम लोग कैसे प्रेपरेशन करें ड्यूरिंग द होल ईयर, हमारा क्या मेथड होना चाहिए। मैं चैनल पे बहुत सारी वीडियोस बनाता रहता हूँ, बट इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू हियर स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम द हॉर्सेज माउथ जिन्होंने इन एग्जाम को क्रैक किया है, क्या उनका पूरा का पूरा प्रेपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी था, मॉक के टाइम कैसे स्कोर्स रहे, कहां से उन्होंने कोप अप किया, एंड एवरीथिंग विच इज वेरी मच हेल्पफुल फॉर ऑल द कैट एंड एमबीए एस्पिरेंट। तो जितने भी व्यूअर्स इस वीडियो को देख रहे हैं, आई बिलीव दैट यू कैन ड्रॉ अ लॉट ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन इनसाइट फ्रॉम दिस होल कन्वर्सेशन एंड लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू होस्ट यू आकाश। Congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How are you doing, Akash? How has been the feeling of scoring 99 plus in that, which is the most difficult MBA entrance exam?
It was obviously a good feeling, but I will add another thing to it. Along with the good feeling, I had also a lot of nervousness along with it because after I score a good marks, I'll have to appear for the interviews. So I was a little nervous about the XLRI interviews and everything. So even now, I am a bit nervous because the final results haven't arrived yet. So once I think everything is done, then I can be like fully happy about it.
That I believe a little modest, and I wish you all the best that you convert best of the colleges you dream of. First thing first, Akash, I will be discussing the complete strategy. But before that, I would like you कि आप यार अपना जो profile है, your 10th, your 12th, your graduation marks, your work experience, you share with the viewers so that they can resonate and relate more to it. So, what exactly is your profile?
Okay, so in my 10th standard, I was in an ICC school. So I scored a 94.83% overall. And in most ICC schools, they check the best of five. So I'll tell my best of five percentage also. It's 96.2. And in my 12th, I was in CBSE with maths, physics, chemistry as my subjects. And I had 93.40% overall. Then I went to Chennai to continue my BTech in computer science engineering. And in my computer science engineering, I scored around 88.49%. And after that, currently for like almost 2 years, it's been 20 months now. So I have been working with TCS Digital, and I have been staying in Bangalore right now. And I had prepared for all the exams like CAT, XAT, NMAT, along with my job basically. So
So this was your
yes,
first attempt, Akash?
yes, this was my first attempt.
Oh, amazing. So आकाश, सबसे पहले like जब आप जॉब कर रहे थे, तो what was your exact profile, like at what domain you are working?
So I work as a developer only. So I work in a software known as CRM, Customer Relationship Management, which is a part of Microsoft Dynamics 365. So I work on that. And what I felt while doing the job was, yes, maybe I am doing some impact. Like my coding is maybe creating some impact, but it's not a direct impact, you know. And which is why I wanted to do something like an HR manager or something in which I can impact the lives of people directly, which was my thought of like writing CAD, XAT, and all these exams basically. So I wanted to be a manager so that I could impact the lives of people directly. I felt that whatever I am doing right now, the coding and everything, that is not directly impacting. Yes, it might create some impact, but direct impact it's not creating. So
So
for
I
that
believe that
reason,
was the main reason that you thought of doing MBA as well. So
yes,
आकाश, ये
yes.
आपने जब MBA का जर्नी स्टार्ट किया, you gave it a thought कि यार मुझे इस साल MBA में जाना है. So from which month onwards you started preparing?
Yes. So I'll be really honest here. Last year, around this time, I was just thinking I will try to do MBA. So let me search up what all exams I need to write for that. Okay. And then I saw, okay, CMAT is coming up in April. I thought, okay, let's start with that first. So CMAT, I couldn't prepare a lot. I was doing my job and I did not have much time in hand. Just before the exam, 1 or 2 days, what I did was I went through all the long videos of study bus that were there, like 6 hours, 7 hours. I watched them. That was a fairly good revision for me. And I was like, okay, with this, let me try and attempt my CMAT. I attempted my CMAT and I got a 99.6 percentile there also.
Oh,
So I
amazing.
so from there I was like, okay, if I can do well in CMAT only with a 2 day preparation, of course, CAT and ZAT are much more difficult when it is compared to CMAT. But if I prepare, maybe I'll be able to score decently in CAT and ZAT also. So after my CMAT results came, I thought, okay, let me buy some books. Basically, I got the Arun Sharma books initially. I used to watch the videos of StudyBuzz, the long videos I spoke of, and I used to watch those on weekends specifically because I was working, so I did not have much time on the weekdays. So on the weekends, I used to watch those videos. I used to write down those. I used to make notes, and I used to try solving the last year's papers. So that was the initial thing I used to do on weekends, mostly from April, May onwards. On weekends, I used to do this thing, and that too, like, not the entire day, of course, maybe like 4 or 5 hours or something. I used to just put for this. I used to do that, and the rest of the weekend, I used to rest, I used to enjoy, as every other working professional does. So,
Akash, I believe that आपके academics already इतने strong थे, so that might have also added a bit in your preparation क्योंकि foundation काफी strong रही होगी childhood days से.
I
So
agree. I agree.
I'm glad that you talked about the revision videos, those 7 hours, 8 hours videos. A lot of students see them, and probably the whole purpose is that they act as a revision. But Akash, what I
Yes.
want to understand that a lot of people they join us for the CAT preparation. काफी सारे students से मेरी बात होती है, and they always ask a question: is that how difficult is it to prepare for exams like CAT and ZAT along with the job, right? So आपका weekdays में जब job होता था तब भी आप try करते थे क्या? So like you said that April में you scored 99 percentile in CMAT, right? That give you a confidence कि हाँ यार मुझे CAT और ZAT के लिए seriously करना चाहिए. So after you came into the schedule, so did you follow a pattern कि यार मुझे weekdays में भी इतने hours पढ़ाई करनी है और weekends में ज़्यादा time देना है? So what was your preparation strategy along with the job?
Yes. So, like for the initial few months, to be really honest, I wouldn't find a lot of time. Like I used to always wish कि like 2-3 घंटा मिल जाए मैं थोड़ा पढ़ाई कर लूँ, लेकिन वो होता नहीं था कभी, basically. Like I had to work till 9 o'clock or something, and then like especially a job like me, which is an IT based job, you have to look at the laptop for the entire day, and after that the eyes will start paining like anything. So like after that, I used to be like, no, I can't look at any book, I can't look at any screen. So yes, if at all I found time, I would prepare a little, but yes, again, what I felt bad about my preparation is that I did not pay a lot of attention to the verbal section. I was like 10th तक मैं ICSE में था, मेरा इंग्लिश अच्छा है, तो मतलब हो जाना चाहिए वर्बल में अच्छा. I was a bit overconfident about that, to be really honest, and that shouldn't be the case with anybody. They should go through passages, those aeon passages, as people say. Such passages they should go through, or if you're writing any mocks, just attempt mocks, just see how much you're like correct in the mocks. So basically, you should not be overconfident. Because I was overconfident in verbal, in CAT, my lowest percentile was in verbal section only. So this is the first thing I'll tell everybody. Please don't be overconfident with any of the things. Even if you think that you're good at it, you should prepare for it. So
ये एक
that is
बहुत
the thing.
इंपॉर्टेंट इंसाइट है बिकॉज व्हाट आई बिलीव एंड ये मैं बहुत बार क्लासेस में भी बोलता हूँ यूट्यूब चैनल पे भी बोलता हूँ दैट एज कैट एस्पिरेंट्स हम लोग को हमेशा लगता है ये हमारा स्ट्रॉन्ग एरिया है और ये हमारा वीक एरिया एंड वी स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम इन वीक एरियाज एंड वी नेग्लेक्ट दैट स्ट्रॉन्ग पार्ट हो सकता है किसी का क्वांट्स अच्छा हो एंड आई ऑलवेज से दैट कि अगर आपका कोई वीक सब्जेक्ट है ट्राई टू स्पेंड 2 hours इन दैट सब्जेक्ट बट गिव 1 hour टू योर अदर सब्जेक्ट्स एज वेल एंड दैट इज अ
Exactly.
वेरी ब्यूटीफुल इनसाइट आई बिलीव आकाश जो आपने शेयर किया कि बिकॉज यू वर लिटिल ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट तो यू नेग्लेक्टेड वर्बल राइट एंड ये चीज किसी के साथ भी नहीं होनी चाहिए अगर आपको लगता है आपका क्वांट्स अच्छा है आपका एलआरडी अच्छा वर्बल अच्छा है डू नॉट नेग्लेक्ट एनी सब्जेक्ट डू नॉट डू दैट मिस्टेक चाहे आपको आता हो आप सेक्शनल मॉक जरूर दो वीकेंड में ताकि आपका रिवीजन रहे आप उस सब्जेक्ट के टच में रहो है ना एंड दैट थैंक यू फॉर दिस इंसाइट आई बिलीव अ लॉट ऑफ कैट एस्पिरेंट्स are going to be very much diligent now कि हर एक सब्जेक्ट में हमें टाइम देना है, and very
Exactly.
important. Akash, what I want to understand from you now, because you talked about the mocks as well, and यहाँ पे ना हमारे पास जितने भी cat aspirants आते हैं, and I believe you were one of them at a point of time. यार मॉक देते हुए बहुत डर लगता है, एंड दैट इज अ वेरी
Yeah.
जेन्युइन फीलिंग, क्योंकि ना क्या होता है मॉक में स्कोर कम आते ही, व्हाट आई हैव फेल्ट एंड आफ्टर टॉकिंग टू सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स, दे फील लाइक कि यार मेरे मॉक में कम नंबर आ गए, अब तो मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा कैट। जबकि मैं हर बार उनको ये बोलता हूँ दैट मॉक्स आर द पार्ट ऑफ योर प्रिपरेशन, दे आर नॉट द रिजल्ट ऑफ योर प्रिपरेशन। बट स्टिल मतलब नंबर कम आते हैं तो बुरा लगता है, राइट? वी फील डिसहार्टेंड, वी फील लाइक यार हमारी प्रिपरेशन कोई रिजल्ट नहीं दे रही। सो हाउ वाज योर कंप्लीट मॉक स्ट्रेटजी? लाइक डिड यू स्कोर लेस, या फिर डे वन से आपके मॉक्स में अच्छे मार्क्स आ रहे थे? व्हाट वाज योर
नहीं,
कंप्लीट एक्सपीरियंस? कितने मॉक्स आपने लिखे टोटल?
मैंने बहुत मॉक्स लिखे हैं, आई हैव रिटन अ लॉट ऑफ मॉक्स, एंड टू बी ऑनेस्ट, लाइक डे वन से मेरे अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं आते थे। लाइक आई यूज्ड टू स्कोर रियली रियली लो, आई यूज्ड टू स्कोर इन सिंगल डिजिट इन एवरी सब्जेक्ट, टू बी रियली ऑनेस्ट. Even in quants, actually in verbal I used to score a little more, but in quants and LRD I used to score in single digits, even though I'm an engineer, even though I had maths even in my college degree. So even then I used to score really bad in quants. And another thing which I think about mocks, which everybody should know, is basically, see, the most the serious students, they only go for mocks. तो मॉक्स में कम परसेंटाइल आना ठीक है, मतलब जितने अच्छे लोग हैं वही लोग मॉक लिखते हैं. The people who are not so serious, they won't write mocks. So in the actual exams, when everybody writes the exam, your percentile is bound to increase. That's one thing. And the other thing is, like, mocks, as you said, is a part of the preparation. So मॉक्स में, या यू शुड सी कि हाँ, ये मेरा वीक एरिया है, ये मेरा स्ट्रॉन्ग एरिया है. यू शुड फोकस मोर ऑन योर वीक एरियाज, एंड यू शुड राइट डाउन कि हाँ, लाइक इन क्वांट्स, this section maybe one part you're not doing that good. Maybe algebra you're not doing that good, maybe arithmetic you're not doing that good, or maybe in algebra or arithmetic also, maybe one particular part, maybe percentages or profit or loss, something you're not doing that well. So that thing you can identify from your mocks only, because in mocks you have all different types of questions. So you identify that from your mocks, and then maybe you watch your revision videos, or you watch whatever material or video is available to you. You watch that, you practice that from whatever books or whatever materials you have. You practice that, and I think that is the way you should prepare for your cat, zat, or any other exams.
सो आई बिलीव दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन फॉर ऑल द कैट एस्पिरेंट जो भी नेक्स्ट ईयर अपीयर करने वाले हैं, कि यार इन्होंने खुद आपको बताया सिंगल डिजिट में मार्क्स आ रहे हैं, राइट? बट आप लोग के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप लोग ये समझो कि मॉक के मार्क्स इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, मॉक्स का एनालिसिस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। जस्ट लाइक आकाश मेंशन कि जो भी क्वेश्चंस गलत हो रहे हैं, ट्राई टू सी वो क्यों गलत हो रहे हैं, उसमें क्या इंप्रूवमेंट हो सकता है। एंड अगर आपका कोई कॉन्सेप्चुअल गैप है तो उसके नोट्स बना लो। अगर आपको लगता है कैलकुलेशन एरर हुआ है तो उसको रेक्टिफाई करो, आगे से वो मिस्टेक्स नहीं करो। तो हर एक मॉक से आपको लर्निंग लेनी है, ठीक है? तो डू नॉट एक्सपेक्ट कि डे वन पे मॉक में आपको 99 लाना है, नहीं। द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू इंप्रूव योरसेल्फ विद एवरी सिंगल मॉक, राइट? सो आकाश, व्हाट आई वांट टू आस्क द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बिफोर आई गो, कि आपका कैट में क्या माइंडसेट था, एंड देन हाउ डिड यू गो टू ज़ैट एंड एनमैट एंड अदर एग्जाम्स? You were a part of advanced workshop batch with us, right? So how
Yes,
was your
yes.
complete experience? Did it help? And we, like, what was the complete thought process before joining, and what was the outcome you saw after the workshop ended in your whole journey?
Yes. So, if I talk about my experience with the advanced workshop, I think it has been a really, really important thing for me, because, as I said, like, I was a working professional, like, I'm still a working professional, and on weekdays, I couldn't get much time. So, on the days I started doing my advanced workshop, there used to be live classes from 9 all the way till 12, or sometimes it used to go past 1 also. So I used to make it a point that before 9 I'll switch off my office laptop and I'll join this. I'll do all the types of questions that are done. And the good part is, like, in the quants section, you used to classify it into easy, medium, and difficult. So that also helped a lot. Like, even in the actual exam, I actually classified them into okay, this is easy, this is medium, this is difficult. I followed the same strategy in the final exams also, and that really helped. And as I said before, like, I used to score single digit marks in the mocks before, but after attending the workshop, I saw a constant improvement in my marks. Like, I was getting maybe 5 or 6 in quants, that increased to maybe 12, 13. Then again, slowly it increased to 18, 19, then increased to something in 20s. And in the actual exam, I scored a 32 in quants, which was around a 98.5 percentile. So that has been my journey of the CAT Advanced workshop. It has really helped me boost my marks and percentile. So, like, those of you are watching it, please take it, because it is going to be really, really helpful. The last 1 or 2 months is the most important months for your CAT work, like CAT preparation. So, I think you should really put your best in those 1 or 2 months. So I think that is one of the key highlights of StudyBuzz, that CAT Advanced workshop, that has really, really helped me.
Great, Akash. Glad to hear that. And I believe, apart from the questions we practice in those workshops for 3 long hours, it also makes you consistent. That is an add-on कि आप daily
Yes.
पढ़ने की habit में आ जाते हो. Daily 3 hours आप पढ़ रहे हो. So eventually you get into that mind frame कि daily मुझे इतने questions practice करने हैं. That helps in the exam as well, I believe. So
Yes.
that is a good thing. So Akash, coming to your CAT exam day, right? And when everything is prepared, आपका पूरा final brush up हो गया, mocks आपने लगा लिए हैं, you are going to your exam center, and when you saw the exam, so how
Hmm.
was that complete mindset? Were you nervous? Were you confident? And how did you approach the whole exam? So was the exam as per your expectation, or did you find surprises in that? And how did you complete your exam at the end?
Yes. So it will be a long answer from me. So basically, my exam center was really far. Like, those of you are watching from Bangalore, I stay in Whitefield, and my exam center was at Penia. So Whitefield is like the extreme east of Bangalore, and Penia is the extreme west of Bangalore. So it was really difficult, and my exam was in the early morning slot one. So it was impossible for me to travel all the way from Whitefield to Penia uh, in the morning slot, basically. So what I did was, I shifted there the day before the exam, and I stayed in a hotel, and then I went to write the exam the next day for the at the right time. So the day before the exam, I was feeling that I am not nervous. I was feeling a sudden burst of energy, but at the same time, I was not able to sleep. So maybe it was some kind of excitement, some kind of nervousness. I don't know what that was, but that was the situation the day before the exam. On the day of exam, again the same thing continued. Yes, the day before the exam, what I did was, I had already made notes from the long videos I was talking about. So I just went through those ones. That's all I did. And then I went for the exam the next day. And of course, the first section is the verbal section. And verbal section, you might be knowing, this time slot one had a little weird, a little difficult verbal section. So, and also there were some surprises in that, like some questions which were not asked for many years, they asked this year again. So yes, there were surprises in that. So when I was attempting the verbal section, I was just reading, and I was just thinking, okay, this seems to be the correct answer, let me mark it, and that way. Because in verbal you can never be sure what the correct answer is, because the examiner might be having something else in their mind when they select the right answer. So I didn't think much about that. I just thought whatever I felt to be the best option, I just selected and I went on. Coming to the logical section, again, what I felt was, if I can solve around 2 to 3 questions, like 2 to 3 sets fully, then I'll be getting a good enough percentile. So that was my uh, like, I had that in my mind. So I solved one completely, and then the other one I was not able to solve. So that kind of made me a little scared and all. But what I did was, basically, uh, s- like, uh, those questions where there's no negative marking, right? there are some questions in which there are no negative marking. So what I did was, suppose I know the answer is a plus b plus c equals to 9. Okay. Now they are asking the values of a, b, and c. I do not know what exactly the values of a, b, and c are. I just did guesswork over there. I did everything 3, 3, 3. A equals to 3, b equals to 3, c equals to 3. And I marked it accordingly. And to my surprise, that was the right answer. So that is another thing. Like, whenever there is a chance of a calculated guess, please take that. Like, especially if there is no negative marking, please go for that. If that becomes correct, then you will see a huge leap in your marks basically. So that was my part with LRDI. And quants, I don't know, like, people were telling that slot 1 is difficult and all everything, but I did not feel quants to be difficult. I was like, I can answer most of the questions. I do not find any difficulty. And I kept on solving. I think what helped was, again, the long videos and the workshop. They helped me like tackle a lot of difficult questions also. And that's why when I attempted the actual exam, I did not find them that difficult. So that was my situation with quants. So that was my entire exam experience in CAT.
So Akash, that thank for the detailed answer, and I believe that is very interesting to understand as well कि जो भी आपके कैट एग्जाम में टीटा वाले क्वेश्चंस होते हैं ऑलवेज ट्राई टू मार्क देम नो मैटर आपको आता है कि नहीं आता जस्ट टेक अ कैलकुलेटेड गेस एंड ये चीजें ना आप तभी सीखोगे जब आप नंबर ऑफ मॉक्स लगाओगे कि यार ये वाले क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर लेते हैं ये वाला क्वेश्चन छोड़ना है ये वाला कैलकुलेटेड गेस से कर सकते हैं ये अप्रोक्सीमेशन से हो सकता है बहुत सारे क्वांट के क्वेश्चन कैट 22 में ऐसा है तो जो ऑप्शन से डायरेक्टली सॉल्व हो रहे थे सो वो सब चीजें आप तभी सीख पाओगे जब मॉक्स करेंगे एंड आई बिलीव दैट आकाश ने बहुत डिटेल्ड तरीके से आपके साथ स्ट्रैटेजी शेयर की है Great. So Akash, what I want to understand from you now is that यार after this CAT marathon journey, जब आप इतना ज्यादा एक एग्जाम को अपियर करते हो इतनी मेहनत के साथ, तो आपका भी वो स्टेज आया होगा यार आई एम डन अब मुझे ब्रेक चाहिए राइट तो उसके बाद हाउ डिड यू मोटिवेट योरसेल्फ टू अपियर फॉर एग्जाम लाइक दैट एंड देन आफ्टर दैट हाउ डिड यू प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ फॉर डिसीजन मेकिंग
Okay. So about this, first thing which I'd like to say is basically I always wanted to study HR. And for HR, there is no other best institute than XLRI. Yeah, maybe the second best is TIS or something, but XLRI is the best. And to get into XLRI, you have to do well in that. So that was my first thing, like first main motivation for doing well in that. So now how did I prepare was basically, of course, if you are prepared for CAT, you are well prepared for the verbal and the quant section, right? The only different section is the decision making. And for decision making, I would suggest is basically, if you see the official website of ZAT, you will see last year's papers. And along with that, the correct answers are also available online. So if you can just go through the questions and the answers which ZAT has provided for the previous years, you would understand how the examiner thinks. And once you understand how the examiner thinks, it becomes really easy. Okay, so in this situation, the examiner would have thought like this. So let me mark this as the answer. Because what happens in decision making is that you might feel like at least two of the options are correct. But again, like if you think from the examiner's point of view, then you'll realize, okay, so this is a little wrong, this seems to be more accurate. So for decision making, I would suggest everybody to think from the examiner's point of view, and that will only be possible if you see the previous year's questions and the answers which they have come up with. So that
So
was the
adding 2 cents to it, Akash, what I would like to tell all the aspirants as well, because I also scored a 99.8 percentile when it comes to ZAT decision making as a subject. And what you said is absolutely correct कि जब भी हम आंसर्स को नैरो डाउन कर रहे होते हैं हम दो आंसर्स पे आके रुक जाते हैं जिसमें से एक आपका आइडियल आंसर होता है और एक आपका प्रैक्टिकल आंसर होता है राइट सो अगर आप बहुत सारे प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर सॉल्व करोगे दिस इज अ वेरी राइट इनसाइट दैट इफ यू सॉल्व एटलीस्ट लास्ट 10 years के पेपर यू विल अंडरस्टैंड कि एग्जामिनर्स ने जो क्वेश्चन बनाया वो किस माइंडसेट से बनाया एंड उनका आंसर आइडियल है कि परफेक्ट उस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में एंड देन यू आर एबल टू सॉल्व दैट इन द रियल एग्जाम एज वेल राइट सो ये चीज आपको डेफिनेटली फॉलो करनी है इफ एनीवन इज अ दैट एस्पिरेंट यू हैव टू मस्ट चाहिए कि आप लास्ट के 10 years लास्ट के 12 years के पेपर जरूर सॉल्व करो एंड यू विल गेट अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग कमांड इन डिसीजन मेकिंग एंड apart from that, even in quants and verbal, you will get an idea.
Yes.
क्योंकि ZAT का verbal थोड़ा सा different होता है. You will see a poem based RC, you will see little vocabulary, you will see a little grammar question, which are not very frequent in CAT, right? So अगर आप वो previous year paper solve कर लेते, you will get a hang of it. So moving forward, Akash, you also scored 248 marks in NMAT, right? And NMAT is again a very different kind of exam, right? You have scored 99 percentile in CMAT, then 99.5 in ZAT, then in CAT you got 97 percentile. But NMAT, if I talk about, it's a very adaptive kind of exam, right? You see every next question depending on what you have answered in the previous question. एंड वहां पे क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग का कंपोनेंट आता है, वहां पे एडवांस एलआरडीए नहीं आता है, वहां पे डिसीजन मेकिंग नहीं है. सो व्हाट वाज योर स्ट्रेटजी फॉर एनमैट and what would you like to give tips to all the NMAT aspirants as well?
Okay, so NMAT I appeared before my CAT exams. So while preparing for my CAT only, I appeared for my NMAT. NMAT I appeared around 4th November, I think, and CAT was of course in the last week of November. So what happened in NMAT was basically what I did was on NMAT's website itself, you'll get 2 3 official mocks. So first you attempt one mock and you see which parts you're lagging in. Like it's almost the same as you do for CAT, but here you don't have a lot of official mocks. So you have just 2 or 3, I think. I'm not very sure of the number right now. So first mock you attempt and you see, okay, these are the parts I'm lagging behind. You prepare those parts and then write the second mock. And most of the times what happens is if you're well prepared, whatever marks you scored in the second mock, you score almost equal marks in the actual NMAT exams. So, what happened in my case was though, in the second mock, I scored a 270, but in the actual exam I got a little less, 248, and that was because of a lot of issues. Because NMAT I was taking from home, I had internet issues in between, I had to shift my place, because they are very particular, like you shouldn't be having furnitures in your room, this that. So they have a lot of problems with all those things. So basically for all those disturbances my score got a little lowered. But that's the thing, if you prepare well in the mocks, like the official mocks, if you give properly, it's almost like whatever you score in the official mocks, you'll score almost the same marks in the final exams also.
So did you prepare separately for NMAT? क्योंकि NMAT में vocabulary है या basic LR है, या फिर you were just
uh,
following with your CAT preparation only?
yeah, I was just following with my CAT preparation. NMAT, like it's basically like what I was thinking is basically कि CAT तो देना है, उसके पहले ये और एक एग्जाम दे ही देते, देखते मतलब आता कितना अच्छा है कितना खराब आता है. So that was basically a practice test for me, you can tell. Of course it's a very different type of test, but that's the thing about NMAT. And like I wrote NMAT and I actually like I actually got into Nazi Monji Mumbai, but again I did not proceed with it for different reasons. Yeah.
So congratulations, Akash, for converting that percentile and then converting the flagship college NMIMS Mumbai. What I would like to ask you as the final question, and I'm really thankful that you have shared your complete plan for each of the exam and shared the complete strategy. But right now we are in the month of April, right? And this is the month when students become extremely serious for their CAT preparation. Like you also mentioned कि last year आपने April में start किया था. So
Hmm.
what are your tips for all the CAT aspirants who are watching you? Probably thousands of students would be watching you. So how would you like to convey your thought process कि यार अब आप ये कर लो तो आप कर लोगे? Because बहुत बार क्या होता है ना, as a teacher, when we tell to the student ठीक है, they understand things, but then when they hear someone from themselves that okay यार ये हमारे में से ही कोई इंसान है जिसने स्कोर किया है, ठीक है, इनके भी मॉक्स में कम मार्क्स आते थे, इन्होंने भी अपनी प्रिपरेशन चलो ऐसे ही करी थी, कैट में ये भी नर्वस हुए थे. So what is your complete thought process if you would like to spend few minutes on this कि क्या क्या चीज अब एज अ कैट एस्पिरेंट करनी चाहिए फ्रॉम अप्रैल, एंड देन हाउ टू कीप देमसेल्फ मोटिवेटेड कि यार अगर एक एग्जाम में आपका 98 99 नहीं भी आया है तो आप नेक्स्ट जैट जैसे एग्जाम में एनमैट में स्नैप में कर सकते हो. So please share your complete input and that will be very helpful for all the cat aspirants.
Okay, so I will tell to all the CAT aspirants watching me right now. Yes, I was exactly one of you people. Like even till a few days back, I used to watch all the topper interviews of Sir. So I used to watch all the interviews and I used to be like, wow, these people are doing really good in life. And then, l- like, I am on the same platform now, basically. So it's a great sense of achievement for me. So yes, if I say like from April, if you start preparing, the first thing is consistency. Like, yes, you start preparing properly in April, but then something goes wrong, and then you are like, no, I won't prepare that much. And then again in October, November, you feel like, no, let's gear up and let's prepare. That's not the way to do it. You have to keep preparing. Like, even if 3 4 hours during the weekends, if you get, at least be in touch with it. Watch some videos, practice some last year papers, do something related to it, so that you are like in touch with it. And also, like, to the people who are working right now, even I was a working professional, so I really understand that it can be really really hectic. Like, my work life is also really hectic. So that is the thing. Like, on weekdays, if you can't, at least like spend a few hours on the weekends. Weekends, yeah, you can roam around, you can take a rest, but even then you can make out maybe 4 5 hours to just maybe take one mock or watch some videos or analyze some mock or analyze some previous year paper. That will be really helpful. So that is the first tip. And to the freshers, or like the ones who are just out of college and maybe will be writing cat in November, and they really don't have a lot of work in between, like they are not joining any office or something, for them I would suggest you have a lot of time in hand and you should make the best use of it. Like, people study for 1 or 2 months and even then they score more than 97 percentile. So if you have so much time, you can just get more than 99.5 percentile if you really start studying like consistently from now. The main key is consistency. You shouldn't give up in between. In mocks you might perform bad, but again, they are a part of the process. Mocks, everybody performs bad, I think. Like, even I have performed bad. My highest marks in mocks was 92.5 percentile. My actual exams score was much much better than that, to be really honest. So, like, if you're getting bad in mocks, don't get disheartened by that. Just identify your weak spots and spend more time on it. But again, you should remember this thing, that you should not like, if you're scoring good in one section, just do not ignore it. I did with my verbal, and in actual exams my verbal was the lowest. So please don't do that. So I think this is my tip to the aspirants who are appearing for the exams. Yeah.
Great, Akash. Thank you so much for that. And I would like to add a couple of cents to it. And based on this discussion, what I can summarize for all of you CAT aspirants, that सबसे पहला ना मॉक्स देने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, मॉक्स में नंबर कम आए ज्यादा आए, यू हैव टू राइट एंड यू हैव टू एनालाइज एंड इंप्रूव विद एवरी मॉक. नंबर टू, व्हाट आई कैन लर्न फ्रॉम आकाश एज वेल, दैट यू हैव टू बी कंसिस्टेंट. चाहे आपको वीकेंड में थोड़ा टाइम मिल रहा है, ट्राई टू बी कंसिस्टेंट विद एवरी सब्जेक्ट एंड दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट. नंबर थ्री, देखो जॉब के साथ मेरा एग्जाम क्रैक होगा कि नहीं होगा, दैट इज मोर ऑफ ए एक्सक्यूज. ठीक है, यू कैन सी someone sitting right front of you who is having a hectic work life and still manage to score amazing percentile, amazing marks, not just in one exam but multiple exam. So if you are serious about your CAT preparation कि मुझे करना है, you will definitely find time for it. नंबर फोर, बहुत बार हमें क्या लगता है, जैसे बहुत बार हमारे माइंड में ये थॉट आता है, यार मैं तो एक एवरेज स्टूडेंट हूँ, आकाश तो वहां पे है, आकाश के तो 10th भी अच्छा है, 12th भी अच्छा है, तो पहले से सब कुछ आता होगा. तो इसका ना एक बहुत सिंपल आंसर है, एंड आई वांट ऑल ऑफ यू टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड लर्न फ्रॉम इट, कि लाइफ में ना अपने हिस्से की मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी. ठीक है, कुछ लोगों ने 10th में कर लिया, 9th में कर लिया, तो थोड़ा फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग है, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन कि आप नहीं कर सकते. बहुत सारे मैंने प्रीवियस ऐसे इंटरव्यूज लिए जिसमें लोगों का 10th में कम है, 12th में कम है, बट देन दे पुट इन अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स ड्यूरिंग देयर प्रिपरेशन, दे वर वेरी सीरियस फ्रॉम डे वन. तो हाँ, आप ये मान सकते हो कि किसी के अगर एकेडमिक्स पहले से अच्छे हैं, तो थोड़ा सा ये एडवांटेज है कि वो कहीं पे कम टाइम देख के शायद ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस कर लेंगे. बट मान लो अगर आकाश को 1 आवर लग रहा है क्वांट्स करने में, या फॉर दैट मैटर एनीवन जिसके एकेडमिक बहुत अच्छे हैं, तो आप 2 आवर्स में उतना ही पहुंच सकते हो. तो एंड में जो क्यूमुलेटिव मेहनत है ना, वो अपने हिस्से की मेहनत आप करोगे तभी वो परसेंटेज अचीव होगा. कुछ लोगों ने 10 12 9 में थोड़ा मेहनत करा हुआ है, तो अभी कम करना पड़ रहा है. एंड अगर आपका कहीं पे पहले बैकलॉग था, नहीं कर पाए थे, तो अभी आप उतनी सीरियस प्रिपरेशन कर सकते हो दैट यू कैन कॉम्पनसेट फॉर इट. यू आर हैविंग इनफ टाइम, राइट. एंड आप उस टाइम को अगर सही से यूटिलाइज करो, तो आई बिलीव दैट यू कैन get your dream percentile and definitely a dream college. Right, Akash? Anything else to this?
Mm, Yeah, I'll just wish all of them all the best, and I'll just request them to remain consistent and prepare properly. And also, like CAT is not the only exam through which you can like enter a dream college. You can write SNAP, you can write IIFT, you can write NMAT, you can write XAT, and even through CMAT there are one or two really good colleges. So to get into a dream college, if you perform badly in one exam, you shouldn't get disheartened, because you have 4 or 5 other options at least in which you can do well and you can get into a really good college. So
या
that's
दिस इज अ
my
वेरी
tip to all
इंपॉर्टेंट
of
थिंग,
you.
क्योंकि बहुत बार हम लोग ये गलती करते हैं, मुझे सिर्फ कैट ही देना है, एंड दैट इज अ वेरी रॉन्ग परसेप्शन अबाउट दिस एमबीए जर्नी। बहुत बहुत सारे एग्जाम, आपका एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव है ड्रीम कॉलेज में जाना, चाहे वो आप जैट से जाओ, एनमेट से जाओ, स्नैप से जाओ, या फॉर दैट मैटर सी मैट सीटी कैट किसी भी एग्जाम से जाओ। थैंक यू सो मच आकाश फॉर बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन। आई बिलीव जो भी आपने चीजें यहाँ पे शेयर करी है, they are going to add a lot of value to all the cat aspirants who are watching you, and I am glad that as a StudyBUZZ institute we could contribute in your journey as well, and somehow became a part of your whole preparation. So thank you so much, Akash, for the being part of this conversation. I wish you all the best, that you get your dream college, you get a dream career after this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.